Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome to another new series on my channel called Worth Your Dime, a series that looks into games that aren't free, you have to pay for them, but I basically give you my first impressions on the game, regardless of whether they are new, or if I'm taking a look at a game that has been out for a couple of years already, and then it would be like revisiting this game in 2017 kind of thing. But that's what this is, The Elder Scrolls Online revisiting in 2017 to give you guys just a quick impression on how it plays in the early levels, as well as talk about some of the end game because I do know of it. So let's get into it. So let's first start off with the character creation here. Now I already have a character, he's kind of low level, but I do have some pretty good experience overall with the game, at least on the console side of things, in terms of end game stuff. So if you're wondering why I only have like one level 7 character, that would be why. But here's the thing. You can pick any gender you want, male or female, and whatever class you want, so there's no gender locked classes, which is really nice, and I love seeing stuff like that, because I don't always want to play as a female per se. Sometimes I don't even want to play as a guy sometimes, but I like that I have the full choice. It definitely doesn't limit players in that way. But what is limiting is the fact that you have these alliances here in the races. Each alliance is tied to 3 particular races each. And what that means is if you want to pick a certain race, like the Nord, then you are tied to one particular alliance. It's not good. And this is compounded by the fact that people on consoles who got the game originally, it came with the DLC that allowed them to pick any race with any alliance, and that's what I'm used to personally. But that's not the case here. I got the gold edition of the game, the gold edition on PC, and it didn't come with that, which sucks. So if I picked Argonian because I wanted to be in the Ebonheart Pact, and he was the closest thing to my specifications in terms of racial bonuses for my particular class, the Dragon Knight, that I could work with. And that's kind of a pain. I don't like just how limiting that is. At least they give you the options to be at least a half-decent viable, in terms of just race alone, a healer, a mage, or a damage dealer. So each one of these 3 races that you can pick from per alliance give you a pretty good mix on what you ultimately want to be. So that's not bad. I just wish that they wouldn't charge you an extra 15-20 bucks to be able to choose any race with any alliance. I think that's silly. In a game that's in a series, the Elder Scrolls series, that's so open and freeform, and hey, do whatever you want to do style of gameplay, this kind of limitation I just feel is weird, but I guess it makes sense from a lore perspective, which I guess the whole like alliance war thing is about, the PvP, how it's between the 3 different alliances, and I don't know, I just feel like in an MMO, people probably won't care about that as much because they want to be attached to their character. If you can get yourself attached to your character in an MMO, you're doing a good thing. That's great. That's what players want. At least that's what I want. I want to be attached. And if I have to play a race that doesn't make that possible or as possible, then we're gonna have a bad time. But in terms of classes, you've got your Templar, which is your more or less typical healer. But the cool thing is, every class can do a little bit of everything if you spec them the right way. So Templars can do damage. Templars can tank to some degree. Same can be said with Dragon Knight, which is your usual frontline warrior, your Sorcerer, which is your mage type character, and then your Nightblade, which is like your rogue. So I'm going to pick, let's go with Nightblade here. And now you've got the body here. We can make him super muscular, thin, fat cat. I've got a fat cat. Really tiny, really tall. Pretty good feature set here. Whatever skin color you like. That's pretty sick. I like that. Different body markings. Now this only pertains to like Khajiit, like the body markings and stuff, I think. I can go back and check though. Get your torso size. Wow. What the hell is happening with his gut? Gut size? Is it in or out? Yeah. Oh, that's weird. That is weird. Posterior dimensions. Okay. That's not very big. My ass is way bigger than that. Jeez. That's nothing. And of course for your face slider, you also have another one of these like face type things where you got soft looking. Boy, that's pretty pathetic looking. Heroic. That's better. And then angular. Angular's like, that you can tell it's a villain right there. But with this types of things, I like to go usually in the middle. Get different voices. You can hear it. Yeah, voice B is probably like close to what I'd like. Really? That's fucking weird. No thanks. Have that mouth light up. Mouth curve. No, this guy's not happy. He is not happy to be playing. Champion gear definitely looks pretty sick. They do a fairly decent job with their gear, but if you look at really close, I hate, and this breaks immersion for me sometimes, but there are certain pieces of armor where the pieces of armor themselves are literally just floating. This isn't really the case with this particular armor. Everything seems to be interconnected, which is nice. It definitely sells the idea that, hey, this is a pretty beefy chunk of armor here, but sometimes you'll see it just kind of floating there, and it looks weird. Especially when it's moving and it's like disjointed. You can see the space between the armor and like the little like side things here, like the shoulder pads, and they're just not quite connected, and you're like, come on. I think that's just part of the engine that they chose. Wow. Is that how it looks normally? That's like, jeez. Oh, is this the same? Okay. So, the setting that I used on the Khajiit, this is what they look like on the other races. They're all so ugly. Why do they all have eye patches? Oh my goodness. Black face? Really? Oh man. This guy. Man, nobody would ever... Yeah, Khajiit looks normal compared to everybody else. Now I get to see the city. The world. So, yeah, running pretty smooth for me right now. Here's the item screen. It's pretty good. Get your currency tab here, quick slots, and then of course your regular. So they gave me an off sword, like a one-handed sword, and a two-handed sword, as well as a sealed urn. Let's see what's in it. So we got a bow, some lockpicks for picking locks, and some chest armor. Might as well wear that. Better than what I was wearing. So let's go with the two-handed sword. Yeah. Two-handed sword, Nightblade. Here we go. Like the whole way you play this game essentially is you explore the world map and you do side quests and you do main quests and you dive into dungeons and delves and you gain experience for pretty much doing everything, for fighting, for exploring, because there's literally so much to do. There's so many things you can find on every zone. And if we zoom out here, here's the world map for this zone, right? Does it look big? Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. But this is just one of many. This is just like the starter zone. Then you got this zone. All of these books you see here are books that you can collect to raise your experience in the Mage's Guild. All of these are sky shards that you can see. And what those do is once you've collected 3 sky shards, you get a free skill point. And those are on every single map you go to. And there's a lot of these zones, you guys. There's a lot. And the cool part is, with the game being the way it is currently in 2017, is, and I mentioned this earlier, you can play any race you want, in any zone that you want, at any level. So, like, even if I start as a Khajiit as part of the Aldmar Dominion in one of their zones, I can still travel to any other zone I want, and everything scales to my level. And I can group up with other people who are higher level than me, and it won't matter because everything scales to their level too. Ah, bitch. There we go. So we've got some bracers, medium armor, and then some stuff we can sell to some vendors. This person has just been standing here. Look at that freaking horse! Whoa! And that's another thing about this game, is you have add-ons. You've got... I have a variety of add-ons already. Wait. This one's out of date. Oh, I guess I probably shouldn't use it then. Well, yep. Reload the UI. Some add-ons can be bad. They can have memory leaks that cause your game to lose massive amounts of frames over a given period of time. Like, I'm running at 60 frames per second right now, but if you use a bad add-on or one that's out of date that has that memory leak issue, you'll eventually be down to like the tens. It sucks. So here's first-person combat. It's definitely better than it was at launch. I don't think any like self-respecting person would ever purposely use this though over third person, especially in something like PvP or dungeons where awareness of your surroundings is a big deal. And you just can't get that with first person. And it looks a little nice and it's a little bit more convincing. A little bit more Elder Scrolls, that's for sure. Oops. That could be a crime. And yes, you can commit crimes. In fact, you can kill people. So I'm going to go into sneak mode here. You know, like a typical Elder Scrolls game. And we're going to sneak up behind this wench here. Maybe I'll do to her what I did to that pig. Oh, fugitive from justice. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What does she have on her? Okay, something that I can sell to the underground market. It's pretty sweet. And when you have a bounty like that, you can sneak into town, but if a guard sees you, they will chase you and either make you pay for your stuff and lose all the items that you stole, or you can just wait it out. This seems to be some kind of school for, like, martial arts, I'm guessing? Being that's the case, I wonder how good they are. Yes, there has been an assault. In fact, there's been a murder. What are they gonna do? Really? I just attacked and killed your master. Oh my god. Am I their teacher now? Okay, okay, I got this. There we go. Oh! Sorry. She doesn't stop! She hasn't stopped! What? And this is the kind of thing that can break immersion for a lot of people. Like, if you go into a game like this expecting it to not expecting it to not act like an MMO, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Stuff like this keeps happening all the time. Petty crimes? Petty crimes? I just killed your master. And you're like, somebody stop this guy. He's so evil. You know what's funny is I'm killing this chick. Everybody's like kind of freaking out, but they're not doing anything. They didn't fight back. What happened to this person? Did he run? I guess one of them had the smarts to run away. Now, I switched over to my level 7 Argonian Dragon Knight character, who I am using a Magicka-based build for, as opposed to the stamina-based of the character that you just saw me play as. And I'm in one of the new areas, at least it's part of the DLC, called Orsinium. And this stuff you have to normally purchase unless you get the Gold Edition, which gives you this here, the Guilds and Glory, the 4 DLC Mega Pack. And that's essentially what the Gold Edition gives you. It gives you Imperial City, Dark Brotherhood, Thieves Guild, and Orsinium, and I got it for 20 bucks. That's a damn good deal. But past that, let's see what the rest of the store features. There are these things called Crown Crates. Now, this is pretty standard in most MMOs. You can probably guess what these are. They basically have a bunch of different things inside of them, a bunch of different types of mounts, a bunch of different types of pets, different cosmetic items, and a crap ton of consumables. Now, the cool thing is, the consumables, as well as duplicate cosmetic items that you don't want, you can actually trade in for crown gems. As you see here, I've got 3 crown gems, and if I wanted to, I could check out the rewards for all of these crown gems, and I can spend 3 to buy whatever potions I want, which is how many I have. Which is like that's pretty trashed here. The best rewards though, which are the rarest of the skins and mounts that you would actually want from these packages, cost upwards of 400. Now, there was another guy on YouTube who opened $100 worth of these crates to get one of these skins, and he ended up with not getting any of these skins or mounts or anything. I got a bunch of duplicates and a bunch of cosmetics, which he traded all in for about 300 and I want to say 330 of these crown gems, and he was 70 off after spending $100. It's a shame. It's not. I don't like a system like that. That's way too random and volatile. It's not great. That things like this are so rare. At least you have some decent stuff for like 100 crown gems, but no, that's way too much in my opinion. You have the adventure pack here, which gives you a non-combat pet, and all the pets are non-combat. Gives you the upgrade, any race, any alliance, which is crap. This should come at least with the gold edition, but it should be a lot for everybody. And then of course treasure maps, and treasure maps are pretty cool because you can go into a zone with this treasure map and it'll be a picture of the environment, and you have to kind of like find out where it is on the map, but most of the time you'll end up just using Google to find out where it is anyway, so take some of the fun out of finding cool treasure like that. Then you have the digital Imperial Edition upgrade, and this gives you access to another mount, another pet, as well as a pledge to allow you to earn more experience with a friend, and the Imperial race. That's right, you have to pay separately for the Imperial race, and that's still a thing, even from way back in the day. And that's another thing that's kind of crap. That should just be standard. A lot of people like to play Imperial. All in all, the store, it isn't pay to win. It's not too intrusive. It doesn't limit you. Like, the regular gameplay isn't limited enough to the point where you'd be like, I need to spend money in that store to actually get anywhere in this game. No, it's not quite like that. However, ESO Plus is something a little bit different. If you want access to the DLC immediately without spending $50 for everything, you can get ESO Plus. This gives you full access to all the DLC game packs for that month. It gives you 1,500 crowns to spend in the crown store, so you can buy one of those DLC packs immediately. It gives you access to the crafting bag, which stores all of your crafting ingredients without bank space or inventory space being covered. You get access to costume dyeing at the dye stations, 2 times bonus to allowable furnishings and collectibles and player housing, and then a 10% boost to experience, crafting experience, trades, and gold acquisition. So it's a pretty good deal, honestly, and it's something that I would do if I had the money, but I'm still waiting on some things. But that said, if you're gonna get anything, get that. You'll get the most bang for your buck by getting that for sure. But if you're somebody like me who doesn't want to do the whole monthly thing to get access to the DLC, then wait for a sale and buy the gold edition for 22 bucks like I did at Green Man Gaming. That worked out pretty well, and because it's on PC at least, you can get the gold edition pretty free, or not pretty free, on the cheap, fairly regularly. Console though, that's a different story. However, the game is still very playable on console. I just much prefer PC because not only do you get 60 frames per second, but you get the add-ons. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Oh damn, I thought the water would be deep enough. Jeez, 31,000 fall damage. Okay. I'm stuck? Wow, come on. I would land on the one rock sitting out of nowhere. If that wasn't there, I would have landed in the water. I probably would have lived. The game is gorgeous, though. I mean, look at that lighting. It's pretty good lighting in terms of God rays and shit. Special effects aren't bad either. Heavy attack! Ah! Yes. Oh, nice. I got a new staff. It's not better than what I have now, but Cool. And that's the cool thing is like most items can drop from most things that you fight, which is nice. It's very nice. You can unless you have like some of the best gear, you can find loot upgrades just by like fighting trash mobs. All in all, I like the combat in this game. You're free to move around. It's not like tab targeting combat that you would normally find in some other MMOs. It's definitely a bit more freeform, and I can appreciate that. It's definitely more action-based. Yes, give me your skill points. Graphically, this is an impressive title. I mean, the shadow, the reflections, even the texture work in some cases is pretty damn great. And here's the kind of mini-boss of this area. He's not too powerful. I should be able to beat him no problem, especially if I use my own ultimate. Uh-oh, immobilized. Not for long, I gotta watch out for those traps. Oh, gotta get out of that. Got him. And I really like the combat in this game. There's a lot of freedom to it, a lot of customization. It's just really quite good. As promised, I've got some PvP gameplay for you guys right here. Now, this is a little old footage from the console version, but it should give you a fantastic idea of what PvP in The Elder Scrolls Online is all about, and it is a major part of the game for me. It's what really sticks out the most in terms of what this game can really give you as an experience. Like, if you want siege warfare with 50 plus people on screen at any given time, all duking it out with each other with their own specialized builds, taking over castles, breaking down walls, taking things over and defending, then this is it. You're building trebuchets, you're building siege machines, you're building all kinds of things in order to break down doors and to storm bases, and you're working well with your team, trying to take objectives and resources. Oh, it is an absolute blast, and one of my favorite aspects of the game, alongside the late game dungeons, trials, and other challenging PvE content. Overall, from my experiences with this game in 2017 as opposed to what it used to be like in the past, it is far more flexible, far more open, and far more group friendly, especially with your friends. If you want to play with them, you can, regardless of alliance, regardless of level, time and place. It's all free form in that regard, and that's pretty great. Now, if they could just maybe do the same thing for PvP, then that would really just be absolutely perfect, but I know that would be a lot harder to balance, so I kind of forgive them a little on that. So, is The Elder Scrolls Online, revisited in 2017, worth your dime? Yeah. Yes, it definitely is. As an MMO and as an Elder Scrolls game, it does both pretty damn well, and it's really become something of its own. It's defied all expectations, especially given how terrible its initial launch was and how bad it used to feel to those who wanted a more pure Elder Scrolls game, as well as to those who wanted a better MMORPG. Well, now that both of those aspects have been improved greatly, what you have is a very great experience that is not immediately forgettable. This will stay with you for quite some time. I know it does me, and I always keep coming back to this game, like those in the past who would always go back to World of Warcraft. The Elder Scrolls Online is pretty solo-friendly, but you will do a lot better in a group. It'll just be faster, but it is possible to do a lot of things solo. That said, if you are going to spend your money on this game, don't buy the base game for $60. I wouldn't even buy it for $30. Save yourself some time and money and wait for a bigger sale to where you can get the gold edition of the game for a pretty cheap price, just like I did, and it comes with 4 of the bigger DLCs, and that's really nice, and that means you won't have to get ESO Plus right away. However, if you do, it's more or less worthwhile in my opinion. And while this cash shop does have some iffy purchases that can be a huge real money sink Like, you will just piss away tons of money with the particular things that you can buy in the cash shop. But that said, it's not very intrusive as a whole, and you ultimately won't feel compelled to buy things from it on a regular basis unless you really, really need the convenience, which, I mean, is really only for like lazy people or people with not enough time. But I understand it's an MMO and it's buy to play, so they don't have the guaranteed money that comes from a subscription, and they need something to help keep the game running. So a cash shop, unfortunately, does the job pretty well, and for the most part, it's fair. So I can live with it. But yeah, guys and gals, definitely worth your dime, in my opinion. If you do pick the game up on PC, PS4, or whatever, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know if this video convinced you of picking it up. If you have it on PC or are going to play it on PC, also let me know so that I can add you and we can maybe play together. That would be awesome. I'm definitely looking for people to play with and maybe even start a guild with. And I'd love to have a decently sized guild for when the huge Morrowind continent expansion hits us in July for this game, and that's going to be amazingly huge. We'll have a new freaking zone, like continent of Morrowind. We'll have a new class. We'll have 4v4v4 PvP. That's going to be amazing, and I'd like to have some of you guys join along. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this new format, this new series, worth your dime. I'll have another video coming out in the next day or two covering a free game, and that one will be dubbed Worth Your Time because, you know, they're free games. So that's going to be the two new series on my channel, Worth Your Time and Worth Your Dime. And this was my first Worth Your Dime. So let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for more stuff just like this. And I will catch you next time.